宾，大家好，欢迎莅临2013年台湾国际科学展览会开幕典礼暨大师对谈。Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the opening ceremony of Taiwan International Science Fair 2013. 台湾国际科学展览会缘起于民国80年所办理的中华民国参加国际科学展览活动国内选拔赛。民国91年转型为台湾国际科学展览会，邀请国外师生来台一同竞技交流，更借此展览会评选优秀作品，选派为我国代表队参加国际科学展览活动。而历年代表国家参与国际科学竞赛的学生表现也非常的优异，不仅使我国的科学教育成果备受国际瞩目与肯定，也增强了我国在国际上的能见度，巩固了科学教育的地位。Taiwan International Science Fair first started as a domestic science test in 1991. In year 2002, it turned into an international event and has attracted outstanding young scientists to participate from all around the world. Many winners from Taiwan also represented our country to take part in international science fairs and have achieved great results. 今年台湾国际科学展览会合计有21国276位学生149件优胜的作品进入决赛。本年预计各科将选出1等、2等、3等及4等奖优胜作品，另外也会从1等、2等、3等奖作品中选拔代表我国参加美国、荷兰等国家地区的国际科学展览活动。This year, we're pleased to have 149 outstanding works enter into the final. These brilliant works are done by 276 finalists from 21 countries. 今天典礼一开始，让我们先来欣赏一段表演。今年我们非常高兴邀请到国立台湾戏曲学院综艺团及音乐学系为我们带来的精彩节目。台湾戏曲学院综艺团是由复兴剧校综艺科的学生和中华民俗技艺训练中心的学员所组成，所有成员都接受过8年以上的严格训练。现任团长是驰名国内外的魔术表演艺术家罗飞雄老师，现任校长是张瑞斌博士。我们以这项特别的节目来开启为期5天的2013年台湾国际科学展览会。For a grand event, we have prepared a grand opening performance, powerful beating drums, and acrobatic stunts. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome acrobatic troupe of the National Taiwan College of Performing Arts. 现在就欢迎他们带来的古镇云霄，杂技耀辉。 谢综艺团为我们带来的精彩演出，谢谢。好，那现在就让我们欢迎这一次所有参加2013年台湾国际科学展览会的各国学生代表进场。他们都是各国选拔出来的佼佼者，也将在这一次的国际展览中角逐各项荣誉。好，现在依据英文字母顺序，由各国的学生代表举旗进场，他们已经准备好了。Now it is time to greet the delegates from around the globe. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome our outstanding young scientists. 现在我们一起以热烈的掌声欢迎他们。Please wave the flags. 让我们热烈掌声欢迎所有的学生代表 ，Thank you. 好，现在请女同学往舞台上站一排合影 Now, please stand in the line for group photo. 好，现在要拍照的，赶快趁机。Okay, thank you very much. 那现在请将你们的国旗立于舞台两侧的旗座上。Now please place the flags in place. Thank you. 让我们再次以热烈掌声谢谢所有的学生代表。Please give a big hand to all the delegates. Thank you. Thank you very much. 今天我们很荣幸邀请到几位贵宾来到现场，他们呢对于国内科学教育的推动向来不遗余力，亲力亲为。那在此非常荣幸能够介绍以下的贵宾，也请等一下念到姓名的贵宾站起来，跟同学们挥挥手，帮同学们加油。首先，today we have the privilege to have many honorable guests being with us. It is my great pleasure to introduce them. 首先，第一位介绍是教育部国民及学前教育署副署长黄欣发博士 ，Dr. 欣发 from K-12 Education Administration Ministry of Education。还有教育部国民及学前教育署蔡志明副组长 ，Mr. Chu Cai, Deputy Chief of K-12 Education Administration from Ministry of Education。 中央研究院林荣耀院士，林院士也是本项科展竞赛评审总召集人 Academician Royal Lin from Academia Sinica, who is also the head judge of the science fair. 国立阳明大学梁賡义校长 Dr. 昆义良 President of National Yangming University. 中央研究院陈仲瑄院士 Academician 仲瑄陈 from Academia Sinica. 国立台湾大学吴俊辉教授 Professor 俊辉 Wu from National Taiwan University. 台湾英特尔台湾分公司赖志奇经理 Miss Gloria Lai Manager of Intel Corporate Affairs Group. 今年我们也非常荣幸邀请到很多参赛国家的驻台使节到场。那首先要欢迎的是印度台北商会的副代表 Mr. Shabu Haki, Deputy Director General from India Taipei Association. Welcome. 接下来要欢迎墨西哥商务签证文件及文化办事处的处长 Mr. Martin Munoz Ledo from Mexican Trade Services Documentation and Cultural Affairs. 欢迎泰国贸易经济办事处副处长 Mrs. Kusuma Tarasu, Deputy Director of Thailand Trade and Economic Affairs. 墨西哥台北经济文化合作协调委员会驻台北代表处 Mr. Daniel Simochenko, Representative of Office in Moscow for the Taipei Moscow Economic and Cultural Coordination Commission. 奈及利亚驻华商务办事处 Mr. I.A. Mohammed from Nigeria Trade Office in Taiwan LLC. 还有我们国立台湾科学教育馆的朱南贤馆长 Dr. 南贤朱 Director General of National Taiwan Science Education Center. 还有台北市立建国高级中学陈伟宏校长 Mr. Wayne Chen, Principal of Taipei Municipal Jianguo High School. 我们非常感谢各位贵宾在百忙之中能够抽空参加盛会。Thank you very much for joining us. 好，那现在就让我们邀请教育部国民及学前教育署副署长黄新发博士来为我们说几句勉励的话。来 ，Now let's please welcome Dr. Xin Fa Huang from K-12 Education Administration Ministry of Education to say a few words to us. Welcome, Dr. Huang.
我们这个典礼的主办单位，国立台湾教育馆的朱馆长，以及评审委员会的总召集人林院士、阳明大学梁校长、陈院士，还有各位驻华使节代办处的各位代表，各位来自于20个国家的青年朋友，以及我们国内的各位伙伴们，以及建国高中陈校长、建国高中家长会汪会长，各位女士、各位先生，大家早安，大家好。我要代表中华民国教育部部长蒋伟宁博士，欢迎各位青年朋友来到台湾参加科学展览。同时，我也要特别感谢主办单位为我们做的精心安排，尤其是评审委员会的主任委员、总召集人林院士，多年来致力于科学教育、科学研究这工作已经是他的志业，他也乐此不疲。我刚刚坐在梁校长的旁边，看到刚刚台湾戏剧学院的表演，用4个字来形容：出神入化。各位觉得是不是如此？我跟梁校长说，他们不一定是研究的结果，他们一定是努力的成果。在科学研究的路上，这一条漫漫长路，经常也是寂寞的，也是漫长的。也许有的时候也不一定立即成功，但是距离成功的路上会有一些状况出现。刚刚表演者 他虽然有一点小状况，但是他依然笑容灿烂，他依然继续镇定的表演下去。这就是没有失败，只是还没有成功，距离成功的路上越来越近了。所以我对于各位致力于科学观察有兴趣的朋友，致力于基础科学研究努力的各位朋友，我要代表部长再一次祝福各位会有一个很好的科学研究的路。这一条路会在等一下大师对谈的时候，让各位走更捷径的路。刚刚我坐电梯的时候，我看到几个小朋友拿着手册，然后他讲我们经过哪些，比如说成大的指导，经过哪些教授的指导，所以我们高中科学教育的发展得到了大学端的支持跟协助。我要在这里也代表部长感谢各大专院校的教授学者们积极的支持我们的科学教育的研究的工作，我们也一定会在这个基础上继续努力。教育部长今天到嘉义去主持全国的教育局长会议，没有办法亲自来参加今天的开幕典礼。不过2月3号的颁奖典礼，我们部里头会有更多的长官来分享各位得奖的喜悦。祝福各位，谢谢各位，谢谢。
Thank you, Dr. Huang. 谢谢黄副署长。Dr. Huang, on behalf of the Minister of Education, he just expressed his most sincere welcome to all of you from around the globe. He also said that although research could be a lonely road, and sometimes there are obstacles on the way. However, just like the performers we saw, maybe they made some mistakes on the way, but still they smiled and marching on. Just like this is the spirit, we should learn from them on our research way. Let's please once again thank Dr. Huang for your words of encouragement. 让我们再次谢谢黄副署长给我们带来的努力，谢谢。好，那接下来就让我们请主办单位国立台湾科学教育馆的馆长朱南贤馆长来为我们致欢迎词。Now please welcome Dr. Nanxian Zhu, Director General of National Taiwan Science Education Center, to deliver his opening.
Welcome to 2013 Taiwan International Science Fair. Science is what got several of our guests where they are here today. So I would like to welcome our distinguished guests. We got the Deputy Director Huang, Academician Lee, Academician Chen, Principal Liang, and Professor Wu. I want to extend my greetings to all of the people who dedicate themselves to science. We have 276 students who come from 21 countries with 149 projects and gathered 40 judges and over 60 volunteers this year. We hit a record every year, and this is the goal we can achieve. We have the best, smartest, most talented young scientists from the world. You are not just trying to win the prize, but make the world better. Because you are embracing science, the next generation was inspired by you. As the Director General of National Taiwan Science Education Center, I'm proud and honored to join you here today. During this week, we have arranged a marvelous talk. Meet the scientists, a platform for shared ideas, which is Science Educator Workshop, Student Mixer Lantern for international exchange, and a scientific gallery, with which many science booths were selling. For more globalized, we add 3 special awards this year. They are Association for Women Geoscientists Award, American Meteorological Society Award, and the ASM Material Education Foundation. Moreover, domestic winner will represent Taiwan, not only Intel itself, NewSat ESI, but also UNESCO of Nestle and iSuite. I'm happy that foundation and business will answer the needs of 413 young scientists, which are Intel Corporation, TDK Foundation, CFC Foundation, and the Broken Foundation. In addition to, I want to thank our partner who made the fair happen, Taipei Zhenzhong High School Principal Chen. Last, I would like to welcome the delegations from 6 countries with their support and attendance, making our foreign students feel at home. Once again, I extend best wishes for enjoyable competition and success in all of your future endeavors. Thank you very much.
谢谢林馆长，谢谢。我们也希望通过科教馆的规划和努力，可以帮助更多对科学有兴趣的学生投入研究的领域。Thank you very much, Dr. Zhu. Thank you. 那接下来我们将进行的是各位非常期待的大师对谈，拥抱科学心，鼓动新时代。今天我们非常难得邀请到2位在国内外学界享有崇高地位的大师。那么今天他们将与所有在场的来宾和同学们分享研究的心得和宝贵的经验。Now we are coming to the Meet the Scientists session, and the theme of this year is Embracing Science, Inspiring the Next. It is our privilege to have 2 renowned masters being with us today to share their valuable thoughts and experience. They are 第一位大师是国立阳明大学的梁賡义校长 ，Dr. Quincy Liang, the President of National Yangming University. 梁校长是国际知名的生物统计专家，31岁就在美国约翰霍普金斯大学任教，设计出广泛运用于生物医学研究的统计方法 GEE。51岁当选中研院院士，基于台湾才是我的根的理念，在2003年回国担任国家卫生研究院的副院长和代理院长，并且在2010年接任阳明大学校长。第2位是中央研究院院士陈仲瑄院士。The second master is academician 仲瑄陈 from Academia Sinica. 陈院士是专门创新研发生物仪器的科学家。2004年由美国回来台湾，当时是抱着回来做点事情的心，认为自己做的事情不一定可以得到很多人的肯定，或是觉得有用，但是尽力去做就是了。摊开陈院士的研究成果，不难发现，他的研究都是以科学方法解决人类生活问题而出发的。那么，我们也请到国立台湾大学物理系的吴俊辉教授主持这一场座谈。The moderator of this session is Professor Junhui Wu from the Department of Physics, National Taiwan University. 吴教授是剑桥大学宇宙学博士，主要研究领域是现代宇宙论，曾经在国际知名物理学家史蒂芬·霍金所指导的相对论小组从事研究，目前则参与多项的现代宇宙学计划，是位青年才俊，也是各位同学施法的对象。好，那我们再次以热烈的掌声欢迎2位大师，还有我们的主持人吴教授。那现在我们就把主持棒交给吴教授，为我们主持今天的大师对谈。Please welcome our moderator, Professor Wu.
Hi, my name is Prati. I'm from National Taiwan University. It's a great honor to be the moderator of the next hour. So the schedule for the next hour will go like we'll have 2 academicians each spending about 20 minutes sharing their stories, how they become a successful scientist and how they overcome the difficulty on the way to become a scientist. And then we'll open the session for the Q&A for about 20 minutes. So the first session will be like 40 minutes, 20 minutes each. So let's start from academician Geng Yi Liang. Let me give you a little bit of a background introduction about academician Liang. He got his bachelor degree in mathematics from National Tsinghua University, Taiwan. That's nearly 40 years ago, right? Right, I'm doing the math right. Yeah, 40 years ago, yeah. Then he got a master's degree in statistics from University of Southern California, and then a PhD in biomathematics, biostatistics from University of Washington. And then he spent the next 20 years at Johns Hopkins University, and especially in 1986, he was awarded by American Statistical Association for the best biometric publication. That's because together with Scott Zager, they invented a widely used statistical method in biomedical research. It's called G, the generalized estimating equation. And then during these 20 years, he won many awards, and then in 2002, elected as the academician of Academia Sinica, Taiwan. And then about the same time, he returned to Taiwan, working at the National Health Research Institute as the associate dean and then acting dean. And also he won the Distinguished Alumni Award from National Tsinghua University in 2006, and the American Public Health Association's Rema LaPaz Award in 2010. And he was elected as the member of TWS just last year. And starting from 2010, he has been the president of National Yangming University. So you see, 30 years ago, he got his first degree in mathematics, and now he's a world-famous biometric expert and also genetic epidemiology. Sorry, the genetic epidemiologist. Yeah, that's right. Sorry, it's my eyes. I'm a physicist anyway. And also, he's a very enthusiastic educator in Taiwan, spending a lot of his spare time working on the promotion of education in Taiwan. So let's hear about his story. Yeah, let's welcome him.
Thank you, Professor Wu, for your very kind introduction. I'd like to just maybe spend the next 15 minutes or so to just share with you my own experience as a scientist, maybe a little bit about as an educator. As Professor Wu mentioned, that I was majoring in math. I loved math when I was little, maybe elementary school, and I find myself have great interest in math. Learning, I have no problem memorizing numbers and quick at calculating, adding, division, those kind of things. My father was an engineer, and so he actually pushed me and my twin brother to pursue the field of engineering. But I know deep in my heart, I really like math. In Taiwan, maybe back to 40 years ago, to go to college, you need to get through the college entrance exam, and based on the priority you set up, and you got picked into the one particular major and university. So I was fortunate to get admitted to the National Tsinghua University, which seems roughly about 80 minutes drive south of Taipei, and major in mathematics. And I really enjoyed my 4 years there. Didn't do that well academically because I loved playing soccer, and was in the varsity team. I was a captain actually for the soccer team, and played a lot of basketball and bridge, things like that. And but then I realized that after 2 years of military training, that I really like to pursue a research career. It's something that kind of bugged me, that I really enjoy math, and I also hope that I can use my math in a way that will be useful.
So by the way, how bad was your undergraduate performance?
How bad? So bad you don't want to know. And
But you still didn't give up, right? You still...
No, because even so, I felt that looking back, I got very good training. I think that the professor, they were very thorough, very rigorous in terms of teaching. Even though I didn't do well, but I think that I learned a great deal. We're quite disciplined as a researcher later on. And then also in the senior year, I got exposed to the field of statistics. And this is the area utilize a lot of mathematics, but also that seemed like a lot of applications in a variety of fields. So that's the field that I like to pursue. And I was fortunate to get scholarship. The only one that the granted scholarship was the University of South Carolina, which is the south part of in the States. So I went to the States in 1979 and I think even though it's not a first-tier university per se, but I thought that they have very solid training at the master degree level. Then during that time, I got exposed to the field of biostatistics. This is in the late 70s. Actually, we're going back to the history of the 20th centuries from the human health point of view, and we really embraced a new challenge in terms of disease. Chronic infectious disease only in the first and maybe the first 20 years of the 20th century, then eventually chronic disease kind of taking over, including cancer. So there's a big challenge as to how can we come up with a new treatment for treating cancer. Also think about the risk factor, can identify the risk factors for the prevention purpose. So that at that time demands new methodology, new statistical methodology. So I got interested in it. And I heard about the University of Washington has one of the best biostatistics programs, so I got admitted in 1979 and then finished in 3 years and got a faculty position at the Johns Hopkins for 30 years until 2010. And looking back, I think that for my own career, there are two turning points. One is in 1979 when I was admitted to the biostatistics program at the University of Washington at Seattle. I find out that I still can have interest in math, yet I actually will be able to hopefully make some impact indirectly to the society by developing maybe some new methodology useful for scientists to advance their own field. And so that was a very, that to me is no turn back, because this is the area I really want to pursue. And then the next 10 years, when I was at Hopkins, I developed some new methods. I think that the professor will mention about GE, which I don't need to get into detail, but anyone interested later, I'll be happy to describe very briefly to you. I was very glad that there was the work was well cited, but perhaps more importantly, was utilized by scientists, medical scientists, new sociologists, to analyze data to advance their own field. So it's very rewarding in that regard. My second turning point was actually in 1990, and one of my colleagues decided to leave for other places. He was involved in a study, a genetic study of schizophrenia. So he asked me to place him as a biostatistician in that study. And this is the first time I ever been exposed to the field of mental health. That was a very astonishing to me, and so I do participate in the study. I learned more about mental health, in particular schizophrenia, later on obsessive compulsive disorder, and realized it really is poses a serious challenge to society. It creates a burden not only to the patient himself, to their families, and eventually to the society. In the city of Baltimore, which where Johns Hopkins were located, and there was a survey done that more than maybe 60-70% of homeless are those with diagnosed with mental illness. They eventually lost the family support. It's very demanding. Eventually, they drift become homeless. So then the principal investigator, become my good friend of mine, Ann Pover, encouraged me to engage to learn more about mental health itself, but also to hopefully maybe to develop new methodology in terms of looking for genes that might explain about the schizophrenia. There was a really totally new field to me, both in terms of mental health, also in terms of methodology, so-called linkage analysis. This was kind of the method of choice at that time. So I recall I spent 6 months studying, doing reading, learning new material at night, because in the daytime I still need to teach and supervising students. And so that was, I think that was very important to me, and I feel that I was able to appreciate more about mental health. And actually, we got a training grant by National Institute of Health and to educate the statisticians with interest in mental health. So that was another turning point to me. Still, to this day, there's no genes have been found for mental health, but still there's a lot of challenge. I'll be happy to maybe share with you later if you're interested in that. But still, this create a lot of challenge for us to really to learn more about the underlying etiology of mental health.
So at that time, the society may be still very conservative, right? So going into this direction could be quite challenging.
Still kind of the stigma, even in the States, people don't want to talk about that and keep it themselves. But I think that eventually, Taiwan as well, but coming back in the last few years, I find that society become more open than before. People willing to talk about, I'm having problems, having depression, this kind of
So
thing.
did you get any pressure or criticism, at those turning points, say in the early 90s, when you moved into this mental kind of business?
No, probably because in the environment that I was at, and people really in the scientific environment, they understand, they appreciate the need more involvement into the research for mental health. So I was encouraged by my colleagues, also by my family, my wife, and because I think that this is an important course to pursue. And I was glad I was able to participate. So this is kind of for my own sake, kind of the two turning points for my own career. In terms of education, I really something I enjoy research, but I also felt that one of the major missions in university is education, to educate young scientists or educators of future generations. So in 1996, I was the first graduate program director at the Department of Biostatistics at Hopkins. I spent a lot of time thinking about the question about graduate education. Okay, what constitutes excellent graduate education? What does it take to have a sound graduate program? And so this was very educational to me, and now that I'm back in Taiwan, I'm sharing my experience with my colleagues in Taiwan as well. And then actually, because my love for education, also because Taiwan is mentioned that this is the place I was born and raised, I decided to return to Taiwan. I'm very fortunate to be elected as the president of the National Young University. And I spent a lot of time talking to my colleagues and share with them experience, talking about the importance of education, both college and graduate education. So there's something that I feel very fortunate to having the opportunity to engage in. So maybe I should just stop here, and maybe I should say a little bit about understand one of the things about this conversation is about science. So maybe I can share with you some of the basics about scientific pursuits. I should acknowledge that this is based on my conversations with one of my colleagues at National Young University, Professor Ming-Da Xu. Professor Xu is a chemist, and really is a scholar. I think that for those who are interested in pursuing scientific careers, I think probably for you still very young and important to build some kind of basic tools. One is also maybe the concept. One is curiosity and keen observation. Okay, I think we always would need to, without science won't be able to have any invention without having curiosity in our minds. And secondly, you have to have a logical and analytical thinking. Okay? And thirdly, its ability to design, to solve, to tackle, and to solve scientific problems. And lastly, maybe trivial, but actually I think this is important, is honesty, and not afraid to fail. Okay. So I think that honesty is important. Otherwise, you hear a lot of fabrications and things, and you need to be honest to yourself, to the field, and don't worry about I'm going to fail this time. The experience is going to fail, but you have to just keep trying, keep pounding, and eventually you'll be successful. And the fifth component, so those four components can be, it's not necessarily something you're born with, something you can acquire from through maybe taking courses, through very informal learning, through speaking with your mentors or your friends. So take a logical and analytical skill. Take mathematics, it's a very powerful tool to learn to be logical, to be analytical. But some of the things, curiosity, and maybe through reading and on the bedside reading, by reading the newspaper, learning about what's new finding in the world. Okay. So that could be trained, could be something could be built upon. It's not necessarily something born with. And the fifth one, I think, is the intuition. Okay. It's one thing I have a lot of knowledge. Knowledge is a pile of facts, but then really there's a difference between a good scientist and an excellent, outstanding scientist. Is that they have intuition. Having intuition, able to invent, able to be creative, to discover new finding. So again, this something can be built upon. In the States, my kids grew up in the States, and one thing I learned in their education is that you don't accept easily from the authority. You challenge your authority. You don't accept our way, and you challenge them. And hopefully then you become part of your knowledge. And also through such study interchange, then you could build up your own intuition. Otherwise, if you just accepting everything being told, you're not going to have much intuition to begin with. So maybe I just stop here just to maybe we hear from Professor Chen.
Yeah, we still have some time. So I mean, a common question from the young people, especially those who are interested in science, is that normally they question themselves about their capability, whether or not they are good enough to become a scientist someday. Especially when they are in schools, in colleges, when they came across sometimes bad performance in certain subjects. So did you ever come across this kind of difficulty? Did you ever question yourself, whether or not you have the capability to become a successful scientist someday, and how did you actually overcome that? Using your mental power, or doing your sports, or what?
I'm not sure I need mental power, and I never. This may not be you might surprise you, but I never thought about am I going to be successful or not. It could be like winning those awards. It's not that's a consequence. It's not the purpose, and so I never worry about it. I knew that I enjoyed doing research, and it's sure there's always an obstacle, always a setback. And you thought you write a very good paper, you get rejected. And also sometimes for our field, we have to do a lot of derivations, formula equation stuff. Sometimes we get through. So you just grind it out, and sometimes you good that you stop, maybe talk to your colleagues. I was fortunate to have a mentor at Hopkins who's not a so-called outstanding scientist in terms of publication, but he's very knowledgeable. He's very one of those statesmen. He reads a lot. He has a very broad view. So when I would never hesitate to go to him if I run into get stuck. I think he always was very helpful, giving me very good ideas. So don't get too frustrated, and also sometimes helpful maybe to take a break maybe just go play some sports and do something else, just to set aside before coming back.
Yeah, because most of the participants today are still in high schools. So when you were in high school, did you see yourself as a scientist someday, or how did you, what did you think?
No, in high school, back 40-some years ago, I don't think I thought about that, and I still do a lot of sporting and play soccer and other things, and maybe worried about getting to the college, this kind of thing. But I found maybe surprised. I never planned myself, even when I after graduate from college, and I never planned what am I going to do the next. I never thought about becoming the vice president of the National Health Research Institute. And I never thought about becoming the current position. I think that somehow it's there. You just continue doing the thing you enjoy doing. Somehow that things happen with reasons.
Right. So the guys here, they are already doing better, much better than we did.
Yeah, the idea.
Right. So let's thank academician Liang. Yeah. Okay. So our next distinguished guest is academician Zhongxuan Chen. He got his PhD in chemistry about 40 years ago from the University of Chicago, and then spent about 30 years at Oak Ridge National Lab, right in the States. And during the 30 years, he won 3 times the R&D 100 award that's given to the top 100 inventions of the year. So he won an award in 1986, 87, and then 92. And also, he became in 1995, he became the American Physical Society Fellow. And then he returned back to Taiwan in 2004, working at the Genomics Research Center at Academia Sinica. And then he became the Distinguished Research Fellow of Academia Sinica in 2006, and won the Advancement of Outstanding Scholarship Award between 2004 and 2009, and then became, in 2009, he became the AAAS Fellow, that's American Association for Advancement of Science, and he was elected in 2010. He was elected as the academician of Academia Sinica, and starting from 2007. He has been the director of the Genomics Research Center of Academia Sinica. So basically his research history was starting from the PhD in chemistry. Now he's an expert in chemical physics. So maybe he would like to share some tips about how he made all these achievements and winning those awards. So let's welcome him.
Thank you so much, Chairman. First, I'd like to give my sincere thanks to Director Zhu and also Committee Chairman, Academician Lin, to give me this opportunity to come. To be honest, I feel a little bit embarrassed to be here because I really don't have any outstanding achievement in terms of research. I also like to thanks for all these outstanding guests, Principal Chen, Vice Minister Tsai, and all these ambassadors to spend their precious time to be here. And of course, I really feel very gratitude for these so outstanding young distinguished scientists from all over the world to come here. As I just report to you, actually my career is quite mediocre. And we already have this wonderful show and plus a wonderful lecture by President Liang. So I don't think that you can tolerate my this very mediocre type of career statement. So instead, I try to approach with a different attitude. Well, I did spend a little bit time in looking through the people who got Nobel Prize. Although like President Liang just said, Nobel Prize is not a goal, it's just a prize or award some people with outstanding achievement. But nevertheless, I think we cannot deny many of them truly have outstanding achievement. So I try to look into it, why these guys won a Nobel Prize. Then I try to categorize it, and roughly I can categorize it into 4 different categories. And this only implies something can be important. And one category I sort of surprised is theoretical or hypothesis approach. And many of the Nobel Prize winners actually did not do too much of mathematics and did not do any experiment at all. However, their impact is truly outstanding. And we know many of these important theories, like special relativity, the mathematics, indeed is not complex. Quantum theory, uncertainty principle, and of course evolution theory before the Nobel Prize. But we all know this. In the past, usually I like to have my students to work hard in laboratory. I don't prefer them sitting in front of computer all the day. But now I change my attitude a little bit. Maybe this daydreaming is actually very important. But anyway, what I think the important part is dare to think big, dare to dream big. And some of our young students, they work very hard, but they did not give much time to do deep thinking. And I think this is one thing important. Of course, all the outstanding young scientists in the audience are not that category. And the second big category is related to instrumentation development. As you all know, X-ray, NMR, MRI, and all this, electron microscope, all these major inventions, this instrument leads to a very big major breakthrough, not only in terms of scientific research, also in terms of welfare of human beings, and laws are very important. So any of you particularly interested in making toys, I call it toys, you make important toys, it can become very important, not only for research, and can be also for the whole human being. The third category are more related to the material, new type of material. As you all know, semiconductor, the impact huge, superconductor, and polymer, and all this kind of stuff in the nanoparticle, particle, and new material quite often it's a cornerstone or the new science. So that's another category. So if you are interested in making something new, that can be quite exciting field. And the fourth one, almost all the scientists work on it, the important discovery of nature. As you all know, a very important magazine called Nature, because nature is filled up with all kinds of interesting things people still did not know, and important critical discovery and lead to new knowledge, and of course also lead to new technology. So, well, I spend this time to talk about this because all of you already have very outstanding achievement. You probably want to think what's the next step. I'm pretty sure you are on the way there to become truly top scientists. So then another thing I'd like to present you is, well, as I said, my research career is quite mediocre. I start to sit back and think, why I cannot achieve more? Well, one thing, of course, I'm not smart enough, but smart or not smart is not easy to change. The other thing, probably is attitude. And so I just think about it, and so I'd like to raise this to share with you. And of course, you can agree or disagree. Nevertheless, I just like to present to you for reference. First thing I think is very important, one of President Liang, curiosity. Curiosity is the mother of the new science. And also another thing is problem solving. I think every day we run into some kind of problem. And quite often, most people just complain, well, why is it so inconvenient? But for scientists or inventors, they often look at different way. How are we going to solve it? And how to solve the problem quite often lead to big discovery or major invention. But then the second thing, well, we face a problem every day, and we cannot solve all of them. And so the second thing I think, because everyone has 24 hours a day only, and we need to do the judgment, which one is more important for us to solve. So I think the second thing, you in the future probably want to judge how important this topic. Should I spend a lot of time on it, or maybe I should not spend not much time on it? And this related what I just reported to you, well, how to judge the importance, and the importance has to be whether it's very critical to the basic discovery, or whether its product will do most good to human beings, to have a huge impact to human beings. You can fit one of these two categories, and that probably is very important. Or you can fit both, in many cases. The third one I'd like to share with you is to check a reference very carefully, particularly these days with the internet so popular, and I think you can almost find anything on internet. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Many things we might think no people thought about it, but 90% case are not true. Someone already thought about it and might even solve it already. This is another thing. We don't want to reinvent the wheel because quite often that is just wasting of the time. The fourth point I'd like to share with you is try real hard to interact with other people. I know many young, smart people think they can learn everything. They can become expert on everything. I teach in National Taiwan University, and quite often students come to me is, how many courses I should take? They want to take 100 courses and something like that, want to become expert on everything. And indeed, that's very unlikely. And that quite often just diversify your spatial capability on one specific field. So instead, I would think, well, you should try very hard to collaborate with other people, other fields, because no one can be expert on everything. And you want to learn the basic part of all different fields or different branches of science, but not become expert on everything. Only good enough to communicate with an expert in other fields. Then another thing following that, of course, you want to collaborate with other people, you need to be willing to share credit with other people. President Liang just said, honesty is very, very important. You really need to learn attitude to be willing to share the credit with other people. And if, let's say, sometimes difficult to judge who contribute more, maybe you want to have an attitude to give more credit to other people instead less. And that way is a key thing to keep the collaboration going. And another thing I'd like to share with you is about the ego. As all of you are very outstanding scientists already, and I saw notice these days, many outstanding scientists, 99.99% are very honest. But on the other hand, some of them has one disadvantage. Their ego are so high. So quite often they always only think, only their idea are good. Other people are not as good. And so if anyone suggests something a little different from their idea, well, they tend to think, basically, eventually want to push their own idea through. And I think we should learn the attitude not to have this kind of ego. It should be problem solving the driving force as the only driving force. And always bear in mind, I want to solve the difficult scientific or practical problem. Not say who is the primary person to solve the problems. And last one I'd like to share with you, because quite often many people think scientists are quite peculiar. They are not social, they are antisocial, they hide in the laboratory. I think nowadays that's not the right attitude at all, because we just mentioned interdisciplinary collaboration is extremely important. And if you want to collaborate with other people, you need to be very social. You need to be able to deal with other people and share with other people and enjoy with other people. So try not to say, well, I need to do research all the time, so I don't want to be social. I don't want to be to participate in the social activity. I think that's probably, in many cases, are bad ideas. Always locate some time for social work. And of course, how to budget the time is very important. You spend all the time on social, and you have no time to do the study and research. That's not good either. But how to balance it is quite important. Okay, I think I probably talked too much. I stop here. Thank you.
So still we have some time. One thing I found in common among three of us is that we are not smart, right? So we are not smart. Yeah, that's what you said.
I'm not smart.
I failed the IQ test 3 times, in my primary school, high school, and even university and so on. But anyway, from the conversation here, we noticed some great attitudes among the two academicians. That is, both of them are very modest. Even after winning all these great achievements, awards, you still think that you feel embarrassed to share the experience here. And also, we find that both academicians are kind of never giving up for the things that you want to achieve, right? And also, you both have this passion for public issues, concern about the education, about the society, encouraging young people to get involved more.
I interfere a little bit. Okay. I think people should be persistent and try to work on important topic. But we also need to learn for young people in the future to learn where and when to cut. Because for some topic, if it doesn't go well for a single period of time, then no one wants to give up. Giving up usually is a painful decision. But probably just like invest in stock market. If you invest in some stock, keep going down, don't try to double and quadruple it. Maybe you will lose all your money. What I mean is, if you calculate it and you give a rational estimate, and the chance to be successful become smaller and smaller, and maybe you should try to consider a formula. Let's say, if you succeed in this project, what kind of true contribution is, and divide it to how much time you think you still need to put in. If that expectation of the reward is low, probably it's the time to cut out. Don't just spend 10 years, 20 years, 30 years on the same project. It cannot go anywhere.
It's like persistence with the flexibility. You have to tune yourself from time to time for the best benefit. Okay, so from your CV, it's hard to tell what you do, what you did in high school. Can you tell us a little bit about what kind of person you are in high school? And you see, majority here, those are high school students, so they must be wondering what kind of person you are.
While I was in high school, I was brainwashed. I call brainwashed pretty badly because of Taiwan education. People want to have a contribution to society, to country, so-called 先天下之忧而忧，或天下之乐而乐。I don't think that's a really good attitude. But very quickly, originally I have more interest in probably politics. I'm like I didn't go to there. Very quickly I sort of understood. Nowadays, a common person, I think, did much better than emperor even just 200-300 years ago. Right. The reason is because of science and technology. So that's the reason I switched to do science and technology. As I say, unfortunately, I did not achieve much, but nevertheless, I did not feel regret because I feel every day running the problem, you start to think about how to solve problems. That's always a challenge and interesting.
Right, what a multi person. Yeah, let's thank academician Chen again. Yeah. But it looks like we have plenty of time for questions. So now we are opening this section for questions. If you have any questions, even the embarrassing ones, those are welcome. Come on, this is a lifetime chance to academicians in here, spending their precious time.
Okay. Good morning, Professor Liang, Professor Chen, and the host. My name is Lily, and I'm come from Taichung. I have several questions to ask the Professor Liang. As math is of great significance in the experiments, as in your speech, and statistics and numbers are the best persuasion to persuade a scientist. However, as a senior high school student, without the statistics basis, it is quite difficult to know the spirits of the biometrics, but we need that in our science fairs. So I would like to ask the Professor Liang, what is the main idea in the biometrics and how to realize or study the biometrics? Yeah, that's my question. Thank you.
Can you repeat the last bit of it?
Sorry. My question is that what is the main idea in biometrics and how to study or realize these kinds of subjects?
Oh, what's the main idea?
Sorry.
How to learn the subject?
Maybe I give you a long-winded answer to your question. Maybe ask you first, what's statistics first, and maybe then talk about biostatistics. Biometry is a little bit different term than the biostatistics. It used to be back in the centuries ago, think about agriculture. Okay, but now that because of concern about human health, so people talk about biostatistics for the term. But first, what's statistics? Statistics basically is a field, like physics, like others. It's also a discipline. Now, when we talk about discipline, it has two components. One is a principle. The other one is methodology. So statistics, it may be hard for you to imagine about principle. Is with statistics, we collect the data to answer some questions, either a scientific question or maybe for policy-making questions. So you need to, with the data, you need to learn how to analyze data, how you interpret the data. So there's a principle behind, okay? But also statistics, the discipline is methodology. Statistics is a tool. We need a tool to help scientists to answer those questions, okay? So the two major components about the statistics as a discipline. Now, biostatistics is a statistics with emphasis on the application to solving biomedical science. Okay, and so for me, I was a graduate program director at the Johns Hopkins Biostatistics Department. I received questions just about every day from the college student, because this is a graduate program, okay, after college. So students asked me questions that I was majoring in math. Okay, can I apply for the biostatistics program? Because biostatistics is bio, right? Biology, biomedical science. Also received inquiry from the students majoring in biology. Okay, and said I heard about biostatistics, but math may not be that strong. I was not majoring in mathematics. Okay, can I apply? Any chance I will be admitted? My one-line answer to the question is that we're looking for individuals strong quantitatively with interest in science. I didn't say biomedical science. Okay, with interest in science. Okay, it's our job to get you interested in biomedical science through a variety of methods, getting involved in projects, other things. Okay, so basically, that's how we're looking for. That's what we like to accomplish at the end, hoping educate individuals who are able to contribute by developing new methodology to help scientists to advance their own field. Okay. I don't know if this answers you. And throughout the process, having a strong math is very, very helpful, because any tool, you need basics. You need strong mathematics, okay, to back you up. Okay. And also the logical thinking is always helpful, regardless of field, logical, analytical. Okay. So, and it's helpful to have a strong mathematical background. But also, I hope this answers your question about biostatistics in general.
Right, so the math is just the foundation, the key is the passion in science, right?
Right.
So basically, I think this is consistent with the policy in Taiwan that states that all the gold medalists in all subjects in the International Olympiad will be receiving a waiver for the entry admission to university to any department they want to. I mean, for example, if you win the gold in physics, you can actually go into medical school. Right. So I think a theory is the same. Basically, you have to demonstrate or to convince yourself that you have passion, you are very interested in science, so that you should be able to succeed in all fields.
Now in the area of mathematics, let me just add this. After coming to Yangming University, I talked to the faculty members for the Department of Medicine. And even I talked to some faculty and students, they ask, why do I need to have a mathematics or calculus, which is one of the required courses, in addition to physics, chemistry. And actually I find that amazing. Even the faculty member asks, we're going to practice medicine anyway. Why do I need mathematics? Okay. And I told them that at least 3 reasons. And one is that, as I mentioned several times, this is a very powerful, it's not the only way, but it's a very powerful way to be logical and analytical. In mathematics, to prove the theorem from A to B, there may be 4 different ways you need to consider. Without doing so, that proves incomplete. In real life, you need to make judgment, make decision. You need to think all possible scenarios. So that's it's a very useful training to have. And secondly, I encourage our medical students to engage in scientific research later on as a so-called physician scientist. Having strong math is very helpful. At Hopkins, there's an undergraduate program in biomedical engineering. It's considered one of the best in the United States, along with the University of California, San Diego. I talked to one of the faculty members there. They said that for undergraduate students, they're required to take 6-semester mathematics courses. So having strong math is helpful for research in general. And thirdly, even you decide later on to be clinician practicing or get into the government to be health official, we also need, there always a new knowledge, new technology. Having strong basic training in mathematics, physics, chemistry, put you in a better position to be able to acquire new knowledge. So I think that that's my reasoning for having math for undergraduate students, even though they major in medicine, in dentistry, in nursing, and others.
Okay. So you happy with the answer?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, very good.
All right. Let's take the next one. More questions?
My name is Alexandru. I come from Romania, and I have a question about how much help did you receive from Johns Hopkins University in your research? I am asking you this question because, for example, as a high school senior, I am teaching in a university in Romania, in a local one, and I have been in many conferences. I have 11 papers, but nobody here in Romania helped any university teacher or something like that.
How much support did you get from the university? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. There's in terms of help, there's 2 different aspects: tangible, intangible. Okay. As a faculty member, people expect you to be independent as a researcher. Okay. You have to be able to be independent, meaning you're able to self-contained. But on the other hand, being part of a university, part of a community, and then always helpful to have some helps. And so, for example, in the department I was at, the chairman was he's the one that have the notion which I embrace in this day, that for junior faculty they really need room to grow. So the teaching load was not as heavy. They give you time to actually develop your own research agenda. And also, not to mention, you need time always to teach new courses, right? So you really need time to prepare for. Okay, so this is one aspect. They give you more time to develop as a junior faculty, less time to teach, and more time to prepare yourself. The intangible aspect is that actually he lends himself a strong mentorship. And the chairman I mentioned about, and in the first year when I taught the courses, it is new to me. Also, as someone with not having English as a first language, so there's always the concern that can you actually communicate well. So he's setting the class. So he did it in such a way, it's a very natural way, that he'll be around to learn new material from me. But I knew the purpose was just to be supportive, also give me some suggestions. Okay, maybe afterward, and maybe you can do a little better in terms of how you teach. So this is one of those intangibles, those mentoring that are very helpful. He's the one actually, when I question, I went to him without hesitation. And even for once, it's a very simple example. My first grant I applied, like here you have a National Science Council in the States, National Institute of Health. The first grant I applied, and we even put a title for the grant, sound very trivial, but I don't know how to do it. I went to him, and he gave me I thought a very fantastic suggestion. So those kind of help, what I call intangible aspects, are very important. And now at Yangming, I'm trying to implement those concepts. Encourage senior faculty, not just the chairman, but senior faculty. And I encourage them to think that junior faculty represent the future of any institute. If they're doing well, meaning you're doing well, because you help them, to foster them, to mentor them. And so I find myself thinking, I'm forever grateful to Hopkins for the rich environment that they have provided. I don't know if you answer your question.
Okay. So.
Can I comment?
Okay. All right. Sure. Go ahead.
Nowadays in the United States and in many other countries, overhead rate is very high. When I was in Oak Ridge, the last 2 years, I was in Oak Ridge National Laboratory. Many people thought the National Laboratory all supported by government. That's totally wrong. Actually, overhead rate is 230%. So to keep one scientist, the annual cost just to sit in front of computers, $500 million, $500,000. So it makes people need to spend all the time writing proposals, think of new idea, and from some sense it's not good, from some other sense it's tremendous pressure, and it gives the time to do the real research. However, in Taiwan, our overhead rate is very small. It's 15%, 15%. So people can really put the effort on research. I just want to take this opportunity to tell everyone, try to consider the job opportunity in Taiwan. This is a good place to do research. Thank you.
Yeah, I share the same experience. And I would send them to Taiwan once. Okay, more questions?
Good morning, sir. I'm Shaitan from India. I want to ask, by participating in the International Science Fair, how can we get connected to a network of different scientists?
Could you please put the microphone closer to you?
I'm asking, by participating in this International Science Fair, how can we get connected to a network of different scientists? Like, for example, if I have a question in physics, how can I get the best answer for that from scientists? So,
come forward a bit so that.
Just put the microphone closer and speak more slowly.
That's okay. Try again. Don't worry about it.
Okay, speak more slowly.
I'm asking that, how can, by participating in this international fairs, how can we get connected to the networks of different scientists? For example, if I have a question in physics, so how can I get the best answer for that?
How to get best answer or from scientists?
How do we
Yeah, sorry about that.
I'm saying how can we get connected to the network of different scientists for different questions to be asked?
Could someone help? Anyone understand the question? Yeah, could you please just repeat his question? Yeah, there's a lady here who can help a little bit.
He'd like to know from a student perspective, attending the Taiwan International Science Fair, how can he connect more with other scientists? Does he have an advantage? Meeting other scientists by participating in a fair such as the Taiwan International Science Fair.
So how to get more connected with the science communities kind of through this event? Maybe you want to make some comment, or maybe the director of the science center should answer this question. You want to make?
Well, I'm not sure I can answer your question. I do understand your question, but being here, how long are you going to be here?
A week, right?
Yes. Yes, for a week.
Yeah, about a week.
A week.
Yeah.
So have a chance to interact and make friends with the other people, other participants, especially those in Taiwan. Maybe there's one way to by making friends, you establish connection maybe in the long run, but also maybe talking to the official here, the organizers, and maybe they can help you out. They think that how such connection could be made. But first, maybe find out what your interest is, and then could be more. Then will be become more helpful, more focused in terms of making the connection.
Yeah, maybe I should echo a comment from academic Chen earlier. Basically, it's not, don't isolate yourself. Try to open yourself more to the society, making more friends, right, and get more interactions. So maybe you have some more things.
My suggestion is go on internet. Almost all the research institutes have their web page, and try to look for which person you are interested in visiting or talk. Then just contact him or her directly. I believe more than 95% of people in Taiwan are very friendly, and they will be more than welcome you to go to reach them and talk to them.
And also during the exhibition, you have some time to interact with the judges. So I think your role is not only to answer the questions. Actually, you can ask them questions if there's something you are really interested in and you don't know even after spending so much time for your project. You can actually ask the judges about your question. If not during the judging battle, maybe you can try that later on in other activities. Okay. Right. Thank you.
Respected academians and professor, my name is Corinne Chang, and I would like to ask you, we all know that in university or the PhD we will need to do research, and we have several pressure come from either the research institute or from your mentors. So I would like to ask you, how do you balance between the quantity and the quality of your thesis? Right.
Quantity and quality. What do you mean by quantity? Number of papers or?
Yes, because we all know that we have some research index to indicate how your work progress or how much of your thesis published on the international
You mean during the process of obtaining your PhD? Is that your question, or in general, as a faculty member, or?
Now, my question is, we know that some universities or research institutes will evaluate you by your number of theses. So how do you balance between your number of theses and the thesis quality? And
this question probably concerns more the faculty members rather than high school kids, right? But still, that's an issue you have to think about. So.
Yeah, I think that there's always the issue between what you say balance between quantity and quality. Maybe I can only speak for myself, and eventually it's the two aspects. One about the system, the promotion system, okay, and nowadays that the people. This is something I'm still getting used to. The system here in Taiwan, being away for so many years. Here always trying to quantify everything. That in a way is fair, but it's very superficial. Okay, so that to me is one of the problems with having trying to quantify everything. Because otherwise, say, well, I mean, mathematics, physics, we're different field. How we compare each other? Only one faculty could be promoted this year. Okay, so that really, to me, is not a good system to have. They encourage people to publish more, as that counts more. But really, the bottom line is the quality per se. Okay, it's the quality. What we mean quality, in my mind, is making a bigger impact to the field. And now you probably heard of the so-called impact factors. There's another way to quantify things. To me, the quality impact meaning how you, through your research work, how you advance the field. But more importantly, you work how to make this society better one. Okay? So that's what's the matter. That's what I think we should emphasize more on quality. But to do so, there must be a system to back it up. But eventually, my opinion is that we are responsible for ourselves. Okay, at the end, that's a goal one to pursue, regardless what system is about. Okay, you want to make a big impact by producing the work of quality, even though that means only have one paper per year. But really, is that the quality that matters most.
Okay. Yeah, I want to echo President Liang's viewpoint. Indeed, impact factor, well, it's an indicator of that magazine, not the journal, not the indicator of each individual author's achievement. So people really need to realize that. A person published one paper on science, in general, of course, it's very good, but doesn't necessarily indicate that particular paper really tremendous value. It's in every science or nature has tremendous value. So some people try very hard, just want to publish it with that so-called high impact factor magazine and forgot the original goal on the scientific part. I think that's not the right attitude. And so really the impact. Impact can be basic science, basic knowledge, can be applications. Like many of you major in biology or know, the invention of PCR, that guy had trouble to get it published. But nevertheless, in the end, he got a Nobel Prize because every lab is using PCR. And that's just an example. So really, you need to judge your impact to either the basic knowledge, basic principle of science, or the impact of the whole community of human beings. Thank you.
We all know that there are good papers in low-ranked journals, and also true, the other way around. I mean, there are bad, even wrong papers in highly ranked journals. So maybe I can add a few more comments because I'm currently serving in the National Science Council, the founding agency for science research in Taiwan. So although quantifying everything is a fair way, everything comes with numbers, it's easier, or say cheaper way to rank people, or say to decide how much money to give which research group. But there are disadvantages of this, as we already commented. So actually we are revising the funding policy every year. basically it's not just to count the citation numbers, not just to count the impact factor, but also to see if the individuals are performing well in terms of whether or not he's making important announcements, international announcements, or making some impact in the international conferences, and even to look at more the quality of the papers themselves. So this is very important. I mean, sometimes I think this is twofold issues, right? The policy will determine how people react, and people's feedback will also, if there's a healthy system, the system will take a feedback from the research fellows. So I think Taiwan, we are still in this process of improving the funding policy. Okay. All right. So more questions? There's one. Yeah.
Good morning, President Liang and Academician Chen. This is Ralph from Geelong. I have a question about this. Like some of friends around me, they are maybe poor in mathematics. And because they are poor in mathematics or physics or chemistry, they give up science. I would like to ask if there's a way that we could encourage them to re-embrace science again, to help them find interest in science, or make them feel that science is truly interesting, provided that they're still poor at math. Thank you.
Okay, maybe when you say they are poor in mathematics, you probably mean they didn't do well in the mathematics exam, right?
Yeah.
Right, so that does affect their self-confidence somehow. So maybe we should start from
Well, I don't exactly follow what you mean in terms of poor in mathematics, physics, and chemistry. If they just did not do well in exam, I mean in course, in mathematics, physics, or chemistry, probably not doesn't really matter. At least my opinion, because there are all kinds of things can be done, and it's not count on how good you do the examination. I mean, it counts mostly it should be how high interest you have, and we need to put effort to solve a specific problem later on. On the other hand, if you mean a person truly hates chemistry, physics, mathematics, that don't like to touch it, then I would say, well, in this world there are plenty of other things equally important, very interesting to do. I would encourage those people don't go into the science, go to work on other fields. Is equally rewarding, exciting. We should not ask everyone to become scientists. I don't think that's the right approach. Thank you.
So the patient interests are more important than the exam results. So maybe you have some more comments to add on.
I think similar. Again, I have the
Same reaction when you say poor in math. Probably it's judged by the grade, but then the question how those the examiner will devise. It may not truly reflect your raw abilities. So don't, as I mentioned, my college grade were not great, even though I was majoring in math, even though I find myself benefit tremendously from the education. I didn't do well at that time, course-wise, grade-wise. And so don't just use that as a basis to decide whether I should pursue science. And also, just two more points I want to make. I agree with both of my colleagues that scientific pursuit is only one option for us in our life. You're still young. You have many things to choose from. Academic scientific pursuit is only one aspect. Okay, so don't feel bad. This turns out didn't work out the way it should be. But there are always other choices. And secondly, maybe I should share with you that in terms of for those who think about pursuing a career, I think important you still have plenty of time to find out your own interest. There's a difference maybe natural science, biomedical science, and social science. Okay, to take different skills. Okay? Find out your interests. I think that's probably the most important aspect. Okay? Also, find out your strengths and weakness. Okay? It's not may not be that easy, but maybe talk to some of your teachers will help to find out. And let me give you just a simple example that in terms of mathematics, and you may have heard that in mathematics, if you in fact remember, if you turn 30 years old, you pass your prime. The people who actually, when even for the thesis, PhD thesis work, or maybe in the early few years, faculty position, the period of time, that's the one making biggest impact. Have you watched the movie called "It's a Beautiful Mind"? Have you seen the movie? By talking about this John Nash, who was majoring in mathematics and become faculty member at Princeton, and he in the thesis developed a theory that was useful for game theory. Okay? And then he actually was diagnosed with schizophrenia later on, but with a great support from the university and family, actually recovered. So but the main point I'm trying to make, this one example that actually the most important impact he made was actually to the PhD thesis. Okay? Now, why is that? I thought about that maybe because I overly simplified things, but in terms of mathematics, it's a well-structured thing. There always is an action. Okay? Under the action, then you can derive many theorems. There's such thing as a numerical value or ordering, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's a 4 is 2 times 2. Those kind of things. It's always under some well-structured guidance. Okay, so maybe because of that, sometimes that limit your creativity in some way. I don't mean to diminish mathematics, but it's because of well-structured aspect. Okay. And then maybe take different kind of individual to excel. On the other hand, biomedical science, it takes the accumulated experience, okay, to be wiser, to be able to think, identify some new hypothesis, okay, to be able to look things broadly. And so people who actually make a big impact in this field, and those usually people maybe in the 40s or in the 50s. Okay. I'm just using this as an example, saying that a different field, even the scientific pursuit, need different skills, need different strength for each individual. So while you're still young, trying the best you could to find out your interest, find out your strength, weakness, and then go for the field that actually will maximize your strength, and in the meantime maintain your interest. Okay. So that's the advice I have.
Right. So a short answer to your question may be that you need to find your own way to evaluate your interest and capability. Don't let the exam result take full control.
Your own way, or maybe talking to some of the teachers who really care about your well-being. Okay. You may not be able to make the own judgment yet, but don't let the grades fool you, thinking you're not capable.
Alright, so I'm sure you are a bit hungry now, and now it's about the time to end this session. So it's really a great honor again to have both academicians spending their hours here, sitting here, talking, sharing their experience with the young generation here. So before we go to lunch, let's thank both of them again.
谢谢两位院士以及吴教授为我们带来的精彩论述。Please once again give a big hand to Professor Wu and to Master Scientists for their inspiring talk. Thank you.